Hey guys, it's Brian, owner of Portable Generator Services down in Florida. This video is for brand new owners of food trucks. People that are gonna be buying one, that are building one, that are just getting started. And it's all about your generator choice. So, here are a couple really important things that can save you a lot of headache and time and money. Number one, when you're looking for a generator, if you can see this video early enough and you're building your food truck, number one, if you can get propane appliances, get propane rather than electric, especially for heating. Anything that creates heat, oven, warmers, coffee makers, a hot water heater. Heat and motors, like a condenser on an AC, are the biggest power consumptions. They drain that generator. They'll literally, it makes the wattage that you have available go real quick because heat is such a big wattage consumption. So like a tankless water heater could be like 3,000 watts already. But if you went propane, it would be 500 because it's just the electric part lighting the flame for the propane to burn and heat up the water. So that's one thing. If you can get propane stuff, I highly recommend it. It'll keep your generator size way, way smaller than if you went all electric, especially if you have a lot of devices that create heat. Ovens, fryers, burners, coffee makers, warmers, because some people want ACs in their food truck. That takes up, around 3,000-ish, depending on, especially if you're getting like an RV style air conditioner, it'll be around 3,000 to 4,000 watts. That's already right there. So do that. If you can get, and you can choose between an electrical appliance or you can get the same appliance but in propane, do that. When you're looking for a generator, don't ask people what size. You literally are the only one that will be able to figure out what size you have. It's very simple. Every single thing that you plug into the wall uses electricity. And on the back of things, on your hair dryer, on the refrigerator, you might have seen sometimes it's on the back though, there's going to be a bunch of information. It'll say how much electricity, 120 volt. Sometimes it says like 115, 110. Sometimes it goes 120 to 240. Then it'll show you your amperage or wattage. You need to get that info from every single thing that you're plugging into the wall. You have to have that info. Get all of the wattage. And if there is no wattage, then there's going to be amperage. There has to be one or the other. So get all of that electric info for every single thing that you're going to need to make your food and run your food truck. And make a list of it and write it all down. Think of, if you were to expand down the road, what you might add, because bringing us into our next tip, say you make a list and it's 6,000 watts. I would highly recommend you not buy a 6,000 watt generator and you go about 2,000 watts or even 3 bigger, which gives you room for growth it makes it to where the generator is not going to be running at full capacity limit 24/7. Every time you're using it, it'll be running. You know, if you have 6,000 watts for all your stuff, you need 6,000, and you buy a 6,000 watt generator, it's going to be running at full capacity from the second you start it up. That puts more stress on it rather than you running it at a lower capacity. It burns less fuel. So that's the next tip. Oversize the generator. Based on your wattage requirements, oversize the generator. So you go around to every single thing, you make your list. What I tell you, you need to get the voltage that it says on the back of each appliance, whatever you're plugging in. Write down what the voltage says. It's either going to say, 120, and then it'll show you the wattage or the amperage, or it's going to say 120 to 40. It'll show you the wattage and the amperage. Document it word for word. Then you're going to go add all the wattage. Say you have some that don't say wattage on there, it just says the voltage and then it has amperage. All you're doing for that is literally taking the amperage times the voltage, and that gives you your wattage. Very simple. So say you see on a coffee maker, it says 120 volts, and it says 500, or it says 10 amps. Whatever, 10 amps at 120 volts, 10 times 120, that is your wattage. Make sure you've got wattage for every single thing that you're plugging in. You have a wattage amount. Once you come up with that full list, what I want you to do is separate the list between which items are only 120 volts and which items show 120/240, and have two lists, right? Just 120 and then 120/240. See where you're at. And so when you got those two lists, what I want you to do is you're going to take your wattage and times the list that you have that's just 120 volts. Take the wattage and divide it by the voltage. So your 120 list, you come up with, say, 2,000 watts. You're going to do 2,000 divided by the 120. That's going to be your amperage. Document that on the piece of paper for your final answer for the 120 volt side. Now do for the 120/240. Add it all up. Say you come up with 1,000 watts. You're going to do 1,000 divided by 240. That's your amperage is the answer. The answer will be your amperage. Document that and add the two amperages at the bottom. That's going to tell you if you need a 30 amp plug generator or a 50 amp. And that's going to be a little bit more precise rather than just not doing the 120/240 calculation. Because when you've got a 240 volt system, it uses half of the wattage requirements than if it was just a 120 volt. So when you come up with that, get your total amperage, okay? And you'll probably be somewhere between, you're gonna have, it's gonna be like in the 20s to the 40s or 50s, maybe even 60s. And that's not the end of the world. If you're over 50, there's things called inrush current, which we haven't calculated in yet, and that'll lower it down to where you're under the 50. Or you might be over 50. So when you get that calculation, you can add up your wattage on both sides before you do the, get your amperage. You'll have the wattage, see what your wattage number is. It'll give you it'll get you real close to the size. You come up at around 10,000 watts. You're gonna need a generator around 10,000 watts, give or take. Next tip, everyone wants a quiet generator. Well, unless you're gonna spend 10 grand and get an 1800 RPM generator, or even 15 grand, inverters are the only ones that will be quiet. Unfortunately, they only go up, as of right now, to 9,000 watts. So, only go to 9,000 watts. They do have features where you can buy 2 inverters and plug them together. And so you would have, let's say you had 2 9,000 watt inverters. That's 18,000 watts now. But now you got to carry 2 inverters with you every single time. Twice as much fuel. This brings me to my next tip. Nowadays is very popular dual fuel generators. They come with a gas tank, a fuel tank for gasoline. They also have a connection for propane. Gives you 2 ways of running your generator. Obviously, you're not running gas with propane at the same time. I highly recommend that. Obviously, at the beginning of the video, I was saying that you should get propane appliances. Another reason is because you can get a 100-pound tank that you will see on a lot of food trucks. It's the same circumference as a grill tank, but the height is like 5 feet. Definitely heavy as hell. You're not going to be taking it on and off and whatnot. You're going to have to go get it filled with the truck, which isn't a big deal. Places have the hose, they bring it out and fill it all up. With that being said, you'll get longer runtime also without having to keep refilling it with gasoline. Gasoline, you run out of a tank, bam, you got to keep refilling it. Well, you'll get a lot more runtime out of the propane tank since you can get a way bigger amount. You're not just limited to 13 or 5 gallons of gasoline. You're limited to the propane size tank you get. Also keep in mind, if you have a bunch of things using propane, it'll burn that faster. Not a big deal. You're gonna get 2 propane tanks, 2 100-gallon tanks, and have them tied in together, 1 on each side of the truck. You've seen that plenty of times. There's a lot of ways to go about this. Gasoline, I have a ton of food truck customers. I had done like 300 jobs my first year, and I went through and like 270 or 80 of them were gasoline problems. Clogging the carburetor. Gas goes bad, and if you don't get rid of it, it clogs the system. It prevents it from working. It gets the insides way dirtier than propane. Propane's cleaner burning. You could let propane sit in that tank for 20 years and it won't go bad. Propane doesn't create a fine layer of like tarnish, which ultimately stops gasoline generators from working. It makes things stick and they don't move freely. None of that happens. Better for the environment, and you get a longer runtime. You can buy a big tank, and obviously you can run as long as you've got fuel. Now, you can't run that generator. A portable generator is not rated to run 24 hours a day, all day, 7 days a week. They want you to shut it down like every 12 hours for about 30 minutes to just let it cool down and just look over if anything looks like it might start failing, whatever. They want you to allow it to cool down. Big thing, checking your oil level. I had so many jobs where people were running the damn thing almost out of oil. Or out of oil. Now people say, and it's true, literally all of them come with an oil shutoff sensor. You'd be surprised how many times those don't work and your generator's running on no oil. It's a quick way to break your generator real quick. Next tip. This is an important one too. So many of my customers, they didn't do it. The installers did. They installed a generator and they bolted it down on the truck, on the food truck, which I guess you don't want it falling off, right, when you're traveling. But they literally prevented access to your, say, the oil filter. A spark plug on one side is literally up against the food truck trailer. You can't access it now. For repairs, you're gonna have to undo and unbolt the generator, unbolt the electric from the truck to remove it. Quick way to get past that. A lot of smart folks that have done this for a while have their generator on a pullout. The frame is literally on roller bars and it's like a drawer and you can pull the generator out. Very helpful. It will save you money when I come to do a repair. If I've got to drop that generator and unbolt it, I'm adding like $400 to it. It's a big job. It's heavy as hell. But if I can just do a latch and pull that thing out and have access to it, saves you a lot of money, makes life a lot easier for everyone. Carry extra 10W30 on you. You want at least a quart of extra 10W30. These portables burn oil. Way more than what your vehicle might. When they're running under a load and they're powering stuff, they burn oil. And so you need to be checking your oil level more than you are. Especially at the beginning when you first get your generator and you're running things, check it every day. If you don't see it dropping on the oil stick, if you don't have an oil stick, if you have the yellow cap, whatever color cap, you pull it off, there's no level indicator, the stick, then that means your oil level needs to be filled up to where the threads are where you would loosen the cap. Where you checking your oil and you pull your cap off that normally would have a level, a stick kind of. If there is no stick, you're gonna look inside the metal framing of the engine block, and where there's the first thread closest to the bottom, you want your oil filled up to that point. 10W30, like I said, carry a quart or two. Do not make the mistake of being suckered in to paying a couple $100 more for the carbon monoxide monitoring system on all of these new generators. It causes issues, and that's it. They're not sensitive, they're too sensitive, and a gust of wind will shut it down while you're doing an event. And then you gotta wait 15 minutes for it to reset itself, and then bam, it shuts down again. You're gonna end up paying someone to bypass it for you. It's a waste of money. Don't buy that. Get the option without the carbon monoxide alarm, and go buy yourself an actual fire alarm / carbon monoxide alarm that you would have in your house and have it inside the trailer. That's all you need. Besides the dual fuel, as a food truck owner, people can ask, oh, what's the best generator? What's the best generator? There is no best generator. Honda makes a damn good generator. They're definitely up there with, they're either the best, I think, or second best. Now you're gonna pay twice or three times the amount. I don't recommend you getting a Honda for this type of work. You use the generator too much, you're gonna put too many hours on it too quick. It's just not a valid, it's not good. And let me explain a little bit more in detail. Harbor Freight was the go-to for a majority of food truck owners to get their generator. They have the best warranty. They had the best warranty in the industry. You buy a Predator Inverter 9000 and you spend the extra $200 to $300 to $400 for the 2 or 3 year warranty. So, anytime that generator breaks, you could bring it in and they'll reimburse you with a brand new generator. Now you need to pay for that warranty again if you want it on the new generator. That's the best way to go. And I didn't even realize this, and someone had told me, and I took my statement on what I was recommending, and I said, listen, if that's the case, that's the way to go. Logically, money, financially, it's the way to go. Predators are great units. They literally imitate Hondas. They're built to beat Hondas. Now, they don't beat Hondas. The quality isn't as good, but they don't break down like someone would think they would, being a Harbor Freight generator. Duramax has amazing customer service, and they actually have the same warranty. I have been recommending Duramax a year before I even started selling for them. Now they reached out to me, and I'm a dealer for them. Before that, though, before I was even a twinkle in their eye, I had seen how they treated their customers. Listen to this story. This happened twice. 2 older couples, separate occasions, ordered a Duramax off of Amazon. Well, they didn't realize they needed to turn the fuel valve on, and they complained and said the generator, this brand new generator, is not starting. It's not starting, it's not starting. Duramax sends them a brand new freaking unit. I get there, they've got 2 units. I get both of them working in 2 seconds. Duramax doesn't give you a hassle. They take care of their customers. Any other brand, good luck. You're going to be fighting for them. They're going to want you to bring it in somewhere that's 3 hours away. Warranty is an important decision when owning a food truck. You want the warranty, and you want a good warranty, because shit happens with generators. That's your main source of income. If you don't have your generator, you're done. So you want to have coverage, because like I said, you're using these things all the time. You're beating the shit out of them. Duramax or Predator is what I recommend. Unfortunately, some people get upset. If you're more experienced food truck and you've got, a nice operation and you're making good money, well then I would tell you to invest in a bigger size unit, like a $10,000 to $15,000 unit. You don't need that when you're starting off. Like I said, the largest portable is a 17,500 watts by Generac. Generac, to me, I'm certified, been trained on Generacs. I've got my certification. I don't like them. Their customer service is trash. I don't like them. They own the largest market share of residential because they advertise like crazy. Other companies, they don't care about residential. They're going after the industrial and commercial. Every generator has their issue. The customer support through Generac has just been horrendous for me, and I don't recommend them. I like Duramax. They've taken care of my customers. I told them, listen, only reason I had recommended you guys before you even reached out to me is because of how I saw you take care of your customers, and you know dang well that my customers, you are going to have to do, even more than that. It's going to be amazing customer service, no ifs, ands, or buts. And they've been taking care of my customers. No ifs, ands, or buts. And so if you get a generator through me, I take care of any issues you might have. You say, you used your generator for a year and something's acting up. You say, hey, Bryce, something's messed up. I do a diagnosis with you over the phone, figure out this, have you do very minor checks, and I get you the part you need. If you're in Florida, I would come in and fix it myself. Or if it can't be fixed, you're getting a brand new generator. I take care of that. That saves a lot of headache for a lot of people. Keep that in mind. And so that's about it. I touched on a lot of different subjects. If you've got any questions, let me know. Every single one of you can call me, email me, and talk to me anytime you need to for free about generators. Anything that you're confused on, give me a call and I will help you out. No ifs, ands, or buts, okay? So hopefully this kind of maybe gave you some insight, gave you some knowledge that you weren't aware of, and helps you in your journey of, building up your food truck to the best it can possibly be. And I will make a next video when someone tells me what they want it on. So hope you guys have a good day. All right, bye.